Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we are going to get into the Rocktol 19 and 1 multi-tool. Now, this is essentially a Leatherman Wave clone. Apparently their patents ended for their tool, and other companies have been able to make the same kind of tool, just obviously not branded Leatherman. Now it comes with a pouch, which is very similar to the way Leatherman does theirs, and it's actually pretty good quality. Though there's a lot of extra space inside the just the camera a little bit better angle. There's a lot of space inside here, so it kinda is not as a tight fit as you would find in a Leatherman, or at least my experience with one Leatherman that I own. But yeah, it's still a good quality. It's still a good quality case. So let's get into the tools that we have. We've got two on the side, and then we've got two on this side. Over here, you have the straight blade and the locking mechanism right here, and it's actually pretty good. It's nice size. Roughly about maybe 2 inches, 2.75 inches, 2 3/4. And it's good. I have no issues with it, and I don't really know to compare it to the Leatherman, but I see nothing wrong with it. I can't really speak to the quality necessarily. I'm not a major tool guy, but for anyone out there who is, they would know, if there's a difference or not. Over here, you have the file. Now, from my understanding, this is called a diamond file. Like I said, I'm not a major tool guy. You have this straight edge file piece here, and then this other different version of file on this side. So, someone could put in the comments below the differences of what each one of these is used for, different edges. On this side here, you have, and it gets a little stuck, but there's your serrated blade. Like I said, 2 3/4 inches about in length. It's very sturdy, stable, nothing wrong with it. And on this side, I am going to have to get this off camera because I'm going to point out this is a negative right here. This is indented in way too much, recessed way too much, and the indentation to actually scoop it out is incredibly deep. Now, I really don't have nails. I consider this a huge flaw. Now, I don't use a saw like that, but it's definitely still a huge flaw that a person would have to have so much trouble trying to get that out. Everyone's mileage might vary because you might have nails, but I don't. Here you can see the teeth on it are very jagged, very pronounced. It's definitely different on a Leatherman Wave from what I've seen on other various reviews. But I can't speak on if that's a positive or negative. I don't know if large serrated teeth like that on the saw blade will cause it to get stuck when you're sawing or not. I've never really used a saw like that before, especially something small like this. So, you can leave in the comments if that's a positive or negative. Let's see. Now, another thing I want to point out too, and this is actually another thing I want to point out too, this is actually a negative, is the fact that this has a little bit of wobble, a little bit of wiggle. Now, I can't really speak to say, how much of an issue that is, but if the Leatherman Wave also has that same kind of play, if the other clones have that same kind of play, I can't speak on it. Right now, one of the major rivaling clones, I guess you would say, competing with this is the Fleesa Multitool 19 and 1, and I can't, someone else may have to comment on if that has that same kind of issue, but that to me looks to be something that's a little concerning. Maybe not, maybe it's not considered a big deal, maybe that's the norm, but I'm not really too familiar with expert on multi-tools, so I can't really speak on that. Here we get into the pliers. You have your regular needle nose, your regular pliers, and your wire cutters. Now, your wire cutters are not replaceable, but they do at least cross over like scissors, where they cross over. And let me try to get a different angle. You can see here where they cross over. So it gives that sense that it should be able to cut without a problem, whereas there are some that actually do not touch at all. One of note is the Leatherman Wingman. It doesn't touch. It actually has a space in between, though it's still capable of cutting, but I'm just making note of that for this product. Let's see what we got here for the rest of the tools. Now you got I don't know if you could see it right here is a ruler. You got inches on this side and what looks to be centimeters on that side. I don't see it saying what type of measurement it is, but I'm going to assume those centimeters on that side and these are inches based on the measurement itself. Now on this side, one thing that's been noted to be a plus on the other Wave copies is the fact that this has a 1/4 inch, has a, let me try to make sure that this thing's focusing, a 1/4 inch driver bit or a screwdriver bit, which Leatherman uses their own proprietary system, which I've heard is actually a weaker metal than regular stainless steel or whatever the norm is, along with the fact that they're actually flatter. They actually have a more flat head, so they don't have as much dimension when it comes to, obviously the flathead screwdriver doesn't matter, but in terms of the Phillips head, there's a lot more flatter, like your traditional multi-tools that don't have bits. It's not as flat as that, but the Wave, you can research it, they're flat. And so this gives a little bit more dimension, and in theory it should work better. This doesn't have a magnet in it, but it stays firm by having that little depressed little ball within it, which a lot of regular screwdrivers that will have like you can flip it around, maybe 2 sets of the driver bits that come with them, your regular $5 one that you buy at a stationery store, they usually have that same mechanism to retain it. So that's a pretty common method. Not all things will have magnets. And then over here we have the other tools. Don't mind, they're not that hard to get out. It's just I have no nails. I'm going to point out a negative in this area as well that I found to be. So you have this is your bottle opener, your can opener. That right there would be your wire stripper. This right here is your small head flat screwdriver for things like maybe glasses or other small things. This to me, I'm not going to necessarily say it's a flaw, but it's very sharp. Just be careful. The first time I pulled it out, I actually poked myself just trying to get these other tools out. Once you get used to it, I'm sure you'll know to look out for it, but it's definitely something to be cautious about. Your other regular flathead, large flathead screwdriver, and then you got the scissors here. Let's see. I'll put these away, and let me just get a small little piece of paper that I can demonstrate to show how well these scissors work. Okay, they work with no problem, and they actually cut pretty well on paper. Now I know a lot of people sometimes will buy multi-tools to cut things like paracord and whatnot. I don't have anything like that on me, but if you're the kind of person who, like me, you really just use your tools for indoor use, then you cutting paper is going to be perfectly fine. That's really the only thing that you're going to be really using it for. And in that case, obviously you could see from what we display here, it's fine. It handles that without a problem. And other than that, this is the Rocktol 19-in-1 multi-tool, Wave plus clone. Leave any thoughts inside the comments. Like I said, to me, it's fine. I have no problems with it. I really don't know exactly, how the Wave stands up to it, so I really can't directly compare. But anyone else, for you seen from here, if you like it, it says it goes for it fluctuates between $30 and $50. Sometimes there are coupons on Amazon. That's where I purchased mine from. So yeah, that's the Rocktol 19-in-1 multi-tool. All right, you guys, catch you guys in the next video.